Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ksenia and I make videos for people who like myself are going through the family immigration process. I'm not an immigration attorney. My videos are based on publicly available information, my own experience, and the experience of my subscribers. And the purpose of my channel is to give you guys the confidence to go through this process completely on your own. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to properly submit the Affidavit of Support and financial evidence for consular process. When it comes to uploading civil documents and submitting the immigrant visa application, that is pretty straightforward. However, I see a lot of confusion and a lot of different requests for evidence and messages when it comes to the Affidavit of Support. Before we move forward in this video, I want to direct you guys to a playlist that I have on my channel dedicated to the Affidavit of Support, where you will be able to find all the necessary information on how to fill out the Affidavit of Support correctly, what kind of evidence you need to be providing, how to avoid requests for evidence, etc. But in today's video, I'm going to purely show you how to upload the Affidavit of Support correctly and what to do in case you have a joint sponsor or a household member. So before you're able to upload anything to do with the Affidavit of Support, you will first have to pay the appropriate fees. So in this particular case, the person has already paid their fees. If I click on the fee button, it will take me right to the receipt page, which shows that they have already paid their fees. And when the fee is paid, it may take a few days before you're able to start the applications or before you're able to submit any kinds of documents. So if the fee is still in process, you won't be able to upload anything. So once the NVC recognizes and accepts your fee, your page after logging in will look something like this. So now, as you can see, it will show that your fee is paid, and now you will be able to actually click on this red button here that says not submitted, which will allow you to submit all the necessary documents for the petitioner. So let me just scroll down a little bit. As you can see, I just wanted to show you that in this particular case, beneficiary has already paid and submitted the green card application and also uploaded all the necessary civil documents, and the only thing we have left is to deal with the Affidavit of Support. So once you click this button that says not submitted, it will take you to a page that looks like this, and here is where you will be able to see what kind of forms you need to upload for the petitioner. This applicant has already uploaded all the necessary civil documents and supporting documentation for the Affidavit of Support, but they are missing the two most important parts, which is the federal income tax returns for the most recent year and the actual Affidavit of Support form. So if we hover over one of these, you will see that you will be asked to upload the document, or you will be asked to provide the explanation for why this document is not available. Once you click this button that says upload document, you will see a page that looks like this, where you will be able to select the form type which you are uploading. As you can see, there's a variety of forms that you can pick from the list, but in our particular case, we will be submitting the form I-864. And now here you can click the choose button to choose the file that you would like to upload. And in this particular situation, the first time that I have uploaded the document, it was too large, and I will show you how to compress a file. So I used PDF 24 tools in order to compress my PDFs, and this particular web page didn't require me to create an account or provide my email. So I was able to do that very easily, and it compressed it to 2 megabytes, which I was then able to easily upload. You will do the same thing for the federal income tax return. You will then click on this button and you will be prompted to a similar page like this, where you will be asked to also upload the income tax return from the most recent tax year. Once we submitted all of John Doe's documentation, if you click on this button again just to double check, it will take you to a page where you will be able to see everything that we have submitted. There will be a date stamped next to any document that you submitted, and it will show the status of the document being submitted. In case that you have submitted something and the NVC doesn't like it, for example, if there is a signature missing from your document, you will see a note here that says what exactly is wrong with your document. So you will have to replace and re-upload that document, which can be fairly easily done. The NVC is very particular where exactly you're uploading your documents. So when it comes to uploading documents from the petitioner, that is all you need to do. You only need to be submitting documents from the petitioner. Say, for example, you have a joint sponsor. What do you do in that case? So what I can tell you is you do not, absolutely do not upload any joint sponsors documentation in any of these tabs under the petitioner's name. If you happen to upload additional documents here, such as an affidavit of support from a joint sponsor, for example, you will get a message that looks something like this, where the NVC will ask you to upload joint sponsors documentation under their own name. And I will show you how to do that right now. If you go back to the home page, you will notice that you have two buttons here, one that says add a joint sponsor and one that says add a household member. If you are confused about the difference between a joint sponsor or a household member, I recommend that you check out the form instructions in addition to my I-864 playlist. In our particular case, say for example, John is using a joint sponsor. So we will click on a button that says add a joint sponsor. We will be taken to a page that looks like this. This page will ask us to add a joint sponsor and provide their last name and first name, date of birth, and upload two documents. First is going to be the joint sponsor's affidavit of support, which, by the way, they have to sign in black pen. And the second thing you will need to upload from the joint sponsor is proof of their status. In our case, let's, for example, say that Mike Borisov is going to be our joint sponsor. We provided his date of birth, and we're also going to upload his I-864 and proof of status, which it would be a copy of his birth certificate, for example. So once you click submit, you will be taken back to the home page, and now you will see Mike Borisov's name right under John's name. However, you will also notice not applicable right in this line. So the not applicable under the affidavit of support fee is typical. You don't have to pay any additional fees, any additional affidavit of support fees, even if you have a joint sponsor. But when it comes to submitting documents, it says not applicable. That's because the NVC first has to look through Mike's documents that we just uploaded, so proof of his status and his affidavit of support, and they have to approve it. So what you can do safely after adding a joint sponsor and uploading those two documents is you can sign out for a day or two and wait for the NVC to approve this joint sponsor. How to find out that they have approved the joint sponsor is that when you log into your CEAC account, you will see a new message in your account. And when you click on this message, you will see a message that says that your request to add a joint sponsor has been approved. So that gives us an indication that we can go ahead now and start uploading additional documents for Mike. When we go back to this page, is that Mike's documentation is incomplete because even though the NVC has approved him as a joint sponsor, there is additional information that they still need from him. And if we click on the incomplete button, you will be taken to a similar page like the one for the petitioner, where you will see Mike's name and all the documents that need to be uploaded for him. So the affidavit of support and proof of citizenship and status were submitted at the time we added Mike as a joint sponsor, and now we have to upload also his proof of domicile and federal income tax return for the most recent year. So once you upload those two as well, when you go back to the homepage, you will then notice that Mike's documentation has been submitted. Now, I want you to keep in mind very closely that when submitting documentation for the petitioner or the joint sponsor, any kind of sponsor, you will only be asked to submit these required documents. However, there may be a possibility that the NVC will request additional documents. So let's say, for example, that the NVC also wants to see Mike's W-2s. You will get a message in your account that says that you also need to upload Mike's W-2s. And in this particular case, you will add them right here in the additional AOS supporting documentation. So anything additional, such as W-2 copies, or for example, letter of employment or copies of pay stubs, you can also upload them here in the additional supporting documentation. So now let's say, for example, our joint sponsor, Mike, actually files his taxes jointly with his spouse, and Mike's spouse would also like to contribute her income in order to help John to support the immigrant who is Jane Doe. So our joint sponsor also has a household member who we would like to add. So if we click on the Add Household Member button, we will be taken to a page that looks like this. In the case that you are adding a household member, please be very careful to make sure that you are adding the household member under the appropriate related sponsor. If you click on this button here, you will see that we have a choice between John and Mike. So in our case, it is Mike's spouse who will be a household member. So in our case, we're going to select Mike and provide Mike's spouse's information. So let's say Michaela is Mike's spouse, and she also will be signing a form called I-864A, contract between household member and sponsor, and we will also in this case need to provide proof of their relationship. Once you choose and upload the files, you will be able to click the submit button. As you can see, again, the same thing happens as when we were adding a joint sponsor. Now Michaela's name appears under Mike, our joint sponsor. However, you will also see not applicable button. And that is again because the NVC has to first approve Michaela as a household member. So again, you can at this point log out of the account for a day or so. We will simply have to wait for a message to appear on our NVC account that the NVC also approved our request to add her as a sponsor as a household member. So once our household member is approved, you will be able to see the incomplete button next to now her name because there's still additional documentation that needs to be provided for her. You will see here under Michaela's name that we are missing additional documents. When we first added her, we uploaded the form I-864A and uploaded her proof of relationship to the joint sponsor. But now we also need to upload proof of her citizenship and proof of her domicile, which both of these can be easily uploaded with these buttons. If you are unable to upload the document, if you use the not available button and try to provide explanation, it is very likely that the NVC will reject the entire sponsor. So please keep in mind that when you're picking a joint sponsor or household member, that they are able to provide all of these documents for you. Moving on. So once we submit Michaela's documentation, our homepage then should look like this. So I hope that you found this video useful. Please check out my I-864 playlist. Let me know if you have any additional questions in the comments below. And I hope to see you guys in my next videos. Bye.